So we talked about this particular alias keys and all. Okay, we will talk about distinct convert later. Let's start with this particular aggregate function. I will provide you. We will talk about functions today. Okay, what are the we have and why we use this. So see, so in the right now what I'm doing, right now every time I'm writing some queries. Okay, I'm writing queries. And this particular queries. Okay, so every time I'm writing some bunch of codes. Okay, and those bunch of codes I don't want. Let's suppose that I'm writing code to add two values. Okay, okay, and that I'm writing a query to add two to integer. So is it okay if I have to add two values every time in many of the cases? Let's suppose that in program A you are writing some four lines of adding two values, correct? In program B you are using the same. Let's suppose this is program A, and this is program, and what I'm doing, I'm every time I'm writing some code to add two integers. Okay, so to add these integers, is it a feasible way? Let's suppose this is two programs, but if we have some multiple programs, it is feasible to write those piece of code every time everywhere? No, we don't want to do that, because we know that we are doing the same functionality each and every time. So instead of that, what we will do, we will create a function. We will create a and using this function, what we will do, we will ask these programs to use this particular. Okay. So what basically we are doing, we are using a concept called concept of reusability. Concept of reusability means, instead of writing a similar bunch of the piece of code every time, what we are doing, we are creating a function, and instead of writing that code, we will use that function every time. Okay, fair enough. These functions are being classified. Functions are being classified into two types. First is predefined. Okay, this particular predefined function is we have like which SQL server itself provides us. Okay, which SQL server itself provides. Let's suppose get date. We talked about get date. That is a function which is being provided by SQL server itself, correct? And we have another function called user defined function. Okay, for predefined functions we have different predefined functions. Like first we have like aggregate function, then we have date time function, uh, we have date time function, we have string, we have fourth is mathematical function. These are some functions which are predefined, which are being, and fifth we have is called system. So these are still functions which are already predefined, and these predefined functions are called system functions. Okay, also. And second we have is a user defined, and this user defined functions are being classified into, first this particular user defined function is classified into a scalar function, and the second one we have is about tabled. Basically this is called scalar valued function, and this is called table valued. Okay, now what we need to do, we will first check what are aggregate functions. So predefined function, these are some functions which is already there. This is being provided by the SQL itself. We don't have to create built in. Correct, yes, like get date, as user, as name, we have this. Now we don't have to create it. Okay, so let's understand first aggregate function. Aggregate. Okay, so these aggregate functions, what we need to do, let's suppose we have this particular aggregate function, and we what it basically does, we have some set of data. Okay, we have some set of data, and these set of data, aggregating means grouping. Okay, and using this function, what we will do that, using this group of function, we are getting a single record. Let's suppose there is an example I'm giving. Whenever we are finding the mean, average, so what we actually do, we for mean what we do for finding the mean, what we do, we use the sum of observation divided by number of observations. That is what we do, correct? This is mean. And here, let's suppose there are multiple observations and we are clubbing those multiple observations to find a single mean. The value will be single only. Okay. So this is one thing. This is where we have aggregate functions. So we have different aggregate functions. Aggregating means grouping. Okay. Aggregate functions. We have different aggregate functions called count. So then we have sum, we have min, we have max, and here you can see that this min, max, sum can be used on the integral columns only. You can't use it into a varchar or a column with varchar data type. Min, max can be found on integer value only, na? Okay, min, max, sum, count, and average. Okay, got it. So here I'm just showing you some examples. Let's suppose here I have a select star from student. Okay, and if I execute it, here I have these different values. Okay, let's suppose I need to find I need to write a query to find the average GPA. Understood? Average GPA. Okay, so we will write a query to find the average GPA. So for average GPA, what we will do? We want the average GPA. We will use this aggregate function called average. We will put the column name GPA, and we will write student. And if we execute it, what it will give? It will give the average. Correct. But here you could see that the column name we do not have any column name. So we can write it as average underscore. This as is only called alias. Alias means giving an alternate name to any of the tables or columns. ठीक है, alias, ठीक है, alias is used for giving an alternate name to any column and table. Okay, got it. So I can write student as S also. Here I've write S also, means basically what I'm doing, if I'm writing S dot GPA, basically I'm using the GPA of student. Okay, so this will help you in when we are learning joins and all. Like suppose there are multiple tables. Okay, alias will help you later on. I will let you know what it actually means. Yes, same. That is why I have mentioned both as also and S also. In the both way we can write that. If I remove this as, if I remove this as and write alternate GPA, it will work. Average GPA. Okay. So this is how we find the average. But let's suppose there is a clause. There is a clause called group by group. But now we have to write a query to find the average GPA based on teacher ID. Basically, what I'm doing, I am grouping a teacher ID. Okay, let's suppose I have this particular select star from student, and if I execute it, you could see that we have different IDs 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I want that her teacher ID के लिए, for every teacher ID there should be a average GPA. Let's suppose for teacher 1 there is 5 students. I want average of those 5 students only. Basically we are creating groups. Understood? So aggregate function and group by clause is always used with an aggregate function. Group by clause is always used. You can't use group by clause without an aggregate function, but you can use an aggregate function without a group by clause. That is not vice versa. Correct. Understood? Hey, there is one more thing. Whatever you are saying now, that will not be recorded in this. Only whatever I speak, that is recorded. So I just want to let you know. So I have to write a query. Because what I will do, I will select a teacher ID. Okay, I want teacher ID also because I want it to be there in my result set based on this particular teacher ID. That is what I'm saying, telling you. Right? That is what I'm telling you right now. I'm about. Okay, no worries. I like your excitement. No problem. Okay, so here what I'm selecting teacher ID and average. But if I run it, it will not exist because teacher ID is an invalid select list because it contains an aggregate function. Basically, what it is saying, I want teacher ID also. Okay, for teacher ID, I have to group by also. I have to do the group by also. Okay, so if I'm not putting any group by here, we want to now if I want to put teacher ID, like we want average salary based on teacher ID. Like for teacher 1, what are the average salary of the average GPAs of the student? For teacher ID 2, what is the average GPA of GPA of teacher ID 2 students. So what I'll do, we will group by teacher ID. Okay, we are saying it group by teacher ID, and if I run it here, you could see that for teacher ID 0, the average salary is 4. The average GPA is 4.133. For teacher ID 1, the average salary is 3.6. For teacher ID 2, the average salary is 3.50. For 3, the average salary is 3.51. Sorry. Who is teaching? Who is teaching that? Teaching that, but we don't have all the data in this particular table itself. We have the teacher ID, and based on that teacher ID, the data is saved in some other table. There is a table called teacher, and using that teacher ID, we have different data. Teacher name, teacher's age, teacher class, everything, teacher mobile number, everything is there. Okay, okay, understood. So this is one thing. Let's suppose we have another select start from employees. If I execute it here, you could see that I have this, but I have different job IDs. Can you see that? Now if someone asks me to find that, write a query to find the average, the write a query to find the average GPA, sorry, average salary based on job ID. So what I will do, I will write like that. See here also I am grouping it based on job ID. If I want, if I want the average salary of all the employees, what I will do, simply write select average salary from employees. That's it, like this. Okay. But instead of that, what I will do, I will write select job ID, comma, salary, average salary from student, sorry, employees, and now I have to group it, because if I'm adding another column in our result set, what I'm doing, I'm adding this job ID into my result set. If I have to add a job ID into a result set, what it need to do, I need to group it, basically group by job ID. If I execute it here, you could see that for AC account, the average salary is this. Okay, I will write it as average. Executed here, you could see account this. For this, average salary is this. For this job ID, average salary is this. For this, average salary is this. So this is how the average salary, we find this particular, use this particular, okay, average. Okay, now let's move to another, another, like we want to find the, write a query to find the max salary from employees. Okay, so what I will do, I will write like select max salary where, sorry, from employees. If I execute it here, you could see that I'm getting the max. But if I want to find the max salary from every job ID, what I will do, if I, correct, okay, I'm using the same query, but instead of, I am also adding another column into our result set, that is job ID. So if I'm adding job ID into our result set, अगर मैं result set में अपना job ID, हिंदी समझ में आ रहा है ना? हाँ, तो अगर मैं जॉब आईडी मेंशन कर रहा हूँ अपने रिजल्ट सेट में, मींस हमको ग्रुप बाई में भी उसको मेंशन करना पड़ेगा. सो वट एवर एक्स्ट्रा कॉलम यू आर एडिंग इनटू योर रिजल्ट सेट, यू हैव टू ऐड दो into the group by clause as well. ठीक है, you can't miss any of the group by job. If I execute here, you could see that for AC account the max salary is 83. For AC manager the max salary is this. Okay, let's suppose if someone asks you to write a query to find the maximum salary of employees for job ID who's starting from A, लेटर ए. ऐसे जॉब आईडीज का मैक्स सैलरी निकालो जो ए से स्टार्ट हो रहे हो. करेक्ट. So what we need to do, we need to put a where condition. That's we do. Correct. So what we need to do, after employees we have to put where job ID like percent a percent. No, a percent only, not percent a. We want to write it by starter. If I execute it, we are getting it. Fair enough? Yes. So where condition should be given right after the select from employees, the table name and the where. You don't write this where condition after the group by clause. It will not work. Group by, order by should be in the last. So I want you to learn the order of of a okay, order of execution, how it is being executed. What is the order of, let's check the order of it. Okay, see, the order of execution of this particular is, it will first start from the first thing, that it will get the data from the tables from. That is how we will do our manipulation. Na? The third thing is, it will join the table. If there is any joins, it will try to join all the tables. The second order is it will filter the records based on where condition. Okay, based on where condition it is filter it. And the fourth is then it will group by. Acha, okay, which is more efficient? First filtering it and then grouping it, or first grouping it then filtering it? Because when we filter our records, the records become more smaller, correct? And then after that there is a having clause. Having is basically if there is any uh, whenever we are using this particular aggregate function na, or having clause, I will let you know about it. And then we are selecting the record. Okay, and in the last, when everything is got completed and selected, then we order it, sort it. So this is the order of execution of our SQL. Okay, please write a note, proper note. I want a proper essay onto that. You have to write. Okay, how this proper order of execution works. Okay, now this is one thing. Similarly, if we talk about min is similar to max, Monica. Okay, so the way we are using min, instead of max you will use min. Okay, the other we have is count. So count is basically to count the number of records. If someone says select, write a query to find the number of employees, let's suppose. Okay, it's a simple query. Okay, what we will do is select count. Star means count everything, star from employees. If I execute it, it says we have 108 records in our table. But if I have to write a query to find the number of employees based on job ID, what I will do, I will use the same query, but like for every job ID, how many employees we have, that is what I am asking. Okay, so what I will do, I will add another column into our result set, and I will group by. Very good. So executed here, you could see for account, AC account is one member, for this is one member, for SA rep is one member, for clerk 21 members, C clerk 2 members, FIA account 5 members, IT program there is 6 members. Okay, so this is how we will use the aggregate functions and how this particular group by clause works. Hope you understand that. Okay, now 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 there is another I told you about use of having clause. So whenever we have to use this particular having clause, see, if I write like this, let's suppose I have to write a query to find the number of employees, based on job IDs whose employees are greater than 10. Okay, so basically it is giving this much of records. I just want those records whose employees IDs are greater than 10. Okay, so if I put condition here, let's suppose if I put condition here, if where count star is greater than 10, it will not work. It will not work. Okay, this work. No, it will not work. Okay, wait. So this particular this particular aggregate function, whenever we have to put a condition based on the aggregate functions, then we will be using this particular having clause. Okay, so whenever we have to put conditions based on, this is a original column job ID, but this is a column which is being created यूजिंग द एग्रीगेट फंक्शन. अब एग्रीगेट फंक्शंस का यूज करके जब हम लोगों को कोई फिल्टरिंग करना है या कोई फिल्टर डालना है, then we can't use where clause. We have to use the having clause. So if I rewrite this particular query, okay, and instead of I'm just deleting this where clause and group by, having will be used after group by. Okay, having count star is greater than 10, and now if I execute it, it shows that these are the values. Understood? Now let's move little up. If I try to find select a average value, select teacher ID average value for student group ID. Now if I use the same, but I want those data, I'm just modifying those data whose average value is greater than 5,000. You can't put a where condition on that average. Okay, if I write here where average salary is greater than 5,000, it will not run. It will not run. Oh, sorry, GPA. Whose average GPA is greater than 3. It will not run. Okay. So instead of what we will do, we will put a having clause. Having average GPA greater than, and if I run it, you could see that I am having the value. So whenever we want to put a condition based on our aggregate functions, you have to use this particular having. Hope I'm clear to you. Okay. Now you know how we can put filtering on the based on columns. So whenever we are filtering based on columns, we can use where clause. And if we are filtering it based on aggregate functions, we have to use having clause. So this is all about group by, aggregate functions, and having clause. Okay. Now let's talk about. Let me open it up. So you have to go to work today or not? No, no. On weekdays or you are working? On weekends or? Okay. Okay. See, this is what we have learned. Count, sum, average, min, max. Okay. This is we learned about aggregate functions that are used in the database to perform the calculations on set of values and return a single result. Okay. We have also learned how to use this group by using aggregate function. We have also learned how we can put conditions. Okay. Okay. Now this mathematical function, I want you to do the research, because this is the easiest part. If you get it, please write it somewhere. Please do it for mathematical functions. Okay. Now I'm moving into the string functions, whatever string functions we have. Okay. And this is a very important. So for string functions, this functions is only be used on strings. Okay. Okay. So for string function, let's suppose we have select. There is a string function called concat. Concat is basically combining a two or a more strings. Okay. So let's suppose we have a string called Monica, and I have another sequence. If I execute it, here you could see that it is combining it and giving me the value. You can use it two or more than two arguments. Fair enough. Okay. Let's suppose let's see. Query. To find the full name of the student. If I execute it, here you could see that we have first name, last name. I want to write a query to find the full name. Full name will be Rahul space Kumar, Monica space Jatot. Correct? So what I will do, I will write a query to find the full name. What I will do, I will use this particular first name, comma, last. If I run it, here I will be getting Rahul space Kumar. Hello, is this? So here you can see that I'm getting Rahul space Kumar everything. What we need to do? The only thing we need to do, we have to concat all these three fields. So for that we have a function called concat, and in parenthesis what we will do, I will keep these things into a parenthesis. If I execute it, you could see that I'm getting the full name. Understood? Now there is another function called substring. So select substring. Select. So what is the for substring? We have to put a column. We have to give a column name or a data here. Then we have to provide a start index, and the length. Length is basically, if we are starting from, let's suppose if we are this is my name Rahul. I just substring help me to extract something between this particular Rahul Kumar, anything. Let's suppose if I'm starting from zero means it is starting from R, and I want from zero, I want 5 length, RAHUL. Okay. So if I write like substring, if I write it like Rahul, its starting length will be 1 and it will go till 5. Okay. If I execute it, here you could see that I'm only getting Rahul. Okay. So let's suppose I have to write a query. Write a query to find the employee's name starting from A. So that time what we are using, we are using this like function, no? Okay, so what we can do, we can use this substring also. Okay, select start from employee, and in this employees I want to select all the names. I just want the first letter. Okay, I will put here where substring first name comma 1 equal to A, equal to. If I write like this, here you could see that I'm getting all those names which is starting from A. Okay, this is one of the other techniques. Maybe you will get something. Let's suppose if a client, let's suppose we have a client, he sends some files. Let's suppose he is sending a file like this, Rahul Kumar 080517 30. He sends me a file like this. Now I have to extract the proper proper data from here. Okay, so let's suppose here you could see that there I have a name, then I have my date of birth 00519, and I have my phone number. Correct? What I can do, I can write a query to find extract this data. There is a possibility na, that a client will give you a file like this, and he will ask you to extract data like from here. Think from that possibility. He will merge everything. He is saying that I will not give you format in your way which you are asking. What I will do, I will arrange or disarrange some of the values, and I will fix a value. Let's suppose वो client क्या बोलेगा कि मैं क्या करता हूँ, एक फाइल में मैं अपने डेटा को बहुत सारे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कॉम्बिनेशंस के डेटा के साथ मिक्सअप मर्जअप कर देता हूँ ताकि मेरा डेटा किसी को समझ ना आए। लेकिन मैं सिर्फ तुमको बताऊंगा कि ओके, इफ इट इज स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 1 to 5, so that will be my first name. I will give you the index. Correct. It will unstructured, not unstructured, but he will give you file in a text files, and he will tell you that okay, in the first column, if it is starting from column 1 to 5, that is my first name. If it is starting from 5 to 7, he will only give you that. If someone will get that, he will not be able to extract that. Understood the thought process, what we actually do? Okay, so what I will do, I will write a query, the select substring, and it will like I will give this. See, right now I'm taking a static value, but here maybe you have some columns. Okay, so don't worry about it. It's starting from 1 to 5. It is starting from 1 to 5 means it is a first name for me, comma. If it is starting from 5 to 5, it's starting from 6 and going till 5, that will be my last. Okay, if it is starting from 11, and from 11, if it takes next 6 records, that is my DOB. And if it is starting from substring 617, and it will take some 10 values, that is my phone number. Okay, if I execute it, I could see, okay, so there is something wrong. It is Rahul. Okay, L is missing. No, it should be 8. Should be 8. See, and we got this particular unstructured data into structured data. Okay, there are multiple ways, Monica. So we have that SSIS, SQL Server Integration Services, where we can directly, where we automate these. When we have a tremendous amount of data, we put this length and all. We do some structuring and all, and we use this particular tool to load our files into our database. We can do it. Yes, we can do it. There are in SQL, there are two different functions, two different we call it as two different features, that is open row set and bulk insert. So these open row set and bulk insert will help you to load data from a CSV file, comma separated value. Okay, so this is how we do that. So if you get any time to please go through that. Anyway, we will be learning this particular open row set and bulk function in our class also. This is also into our syllabus. SQL Server Integration Service is not into our syllabus, but we have this particular in our syllabus. This is one. Okay. Now again from substring we have another that string function, that is called right trim and left trim. Right trim and left. So basically what it does, it trims the trailing spaces from the right and the left hand side respectively. Okay, so let's suppose if we have select L3. Okay, so if I execute it, okay, first what I'm doing, I'm first using the length. So len is basically find the length of the string. Hope you understand that. So the length of the string is 17. Okay, because it is counting the trailing spaces as well. Okay, so let's try to check. If we try to remove the left hand side space, it will reduce the length. If we try to then if we try to reduce it from right, it will reduce some length. Correct? Length. Hello. Yes, sorry. So the still pause. Just sharing my screen. Please let me know if you can. Can you see my screen? Please let me know once you can see. Can you see my screen, Monica? Okay, let me reshare it now. Ille. My God, what happened? Okay, let's rejoin. Hello. So initially what we have done, we have found the length of this particular character. Let's try to left trim it and check the length. If left trim will remove the left hand side spaces, trailing spaces, it means the length of the string will be reduced, correct? So what I'm doing, I'm just using this particular, and I'm just putting it into a L trim. Okay, I'm putting first L trimming it, the Rahul Kumar, and then checking the length. So if I execute it here, you could see that I'm getting 11. Now let's try to right trim it, and check whether it is removing that particular trailing space or not. So if I execute it, I have to see that left. Okay, it is removed those spaces. Okay, left. I don't know why, but it is not giving the value of any of the right. I think this particular SQL compiler is capable itself to remove the right hand side trailing spaces in the beginning itself. Do you understand that? Okay. Is it paused? You can't see the moment. No, I'm not typing anything. Now you will see my. Can you? Okay. So basically, the SQL compiler is capable itself to remove these trailing spaces from the right. Means it can keep the trailing spaces from the left. Okay, but it can it only remove the spaces. Like, see, the length of this particular string is already 25. Okay, but if I run it now, it is showing me 17 only. Means it is counting the left hand side trailing spaces, but it is not, it is taking that this right hand trailing spaces is not a mandate, like that it is giving significance to this particular trailing space, but it is not giving significance to this particular space. Correct. So that is the compiler which is doing that. But I will just tell you the purpose of right trim and left trim. Right trim is basically removing the trailing spaces from the right, and there is one more, length is used for finding the length of this. There is another, uh, that is trim. So trim will remove the trailing spaces from left hand side and the right hand side both. Okay. Now there is another check. Hmm. Correct. Hmm. Upper and lower. So if you want any of the string to be in the lower case. Okay. Let's select. So if I execute it, here you could see that it is making this particular all capital value into this particular lowercase. Okay. So this is why we use this particular lower, and this upper will change it to upper. Okay. Now there is another function. There is another string function that is called char index. Okay, select char index. Okay, and what we have to give two things. First, I have to give the search expression. Let's suppose I have to search it from the Rahul Kumar. Rahul. Then the second thing, what I need to do, I need to give the expression to be searched. So I want the expression to be searched as a. Okay, and if I execute it here, you could see that it is giving that 0. Basically what है, this is char index is basically used to search a particular string is present in, मतलब एक particular अल्फाबेट को ले लिया मैंने, ए बी सी डी, वो ए बी सी डी किसी स्ट्रिंग में कहाँ पे प्रेजेंट है उसका इंडेक्स निकालना, दैट इज कॉल्ड कैर इंडेक्स. There are heavy rains in Pune. Sorry for that. There is heavy rain. It's raining in Pune. Maybe due to that, I have some network. This particular select the get date is used for getting the current date time. Okay. Now we have another similar function, that is current times. Similar to get date, we have another current timestamp also, which will give you the current timestamp. Okay. Yes or no, please. Hello. Okay. Now timestamp is same. So yes, this is the most important date add function used. So select. Sorry. Add. So this particular date add, what do I need to do? I This date add is help us to create dates. Okay. Let's suppose I'm saying date add day 7, and I'm giving you basically what I'm saying. Date add means up day wise, take day wise next 7, it is plus 7 from today, like I'm giving this date. If I execute it, what it is giving, it will give 2024 04 27, but here I have given 20. Correct. It will add the date plus 27. It will give you a date after 7 days. 20 plus 7. Okay. If I write it like -7, so it will do give the date -7. Okay. Now this is day wise. If you want to add the date like month, you want the date after 7 months. Okay. From this, so what you need to do, you just need to execute it, and you will get the month after 7 days. That is 11/20. 2024 11. If you want to get the date after, here is month, if you want to get date after 7 years from this particular date, what you need to do, you need to add year comma 7, and you will get this. So 20310420. This is very important. Now there is few functions where we can find the let's suppose, see here, you could see that these functions are used to extract, these functions are used to extract the year. Okay, this will extract the year from the date. So basically, if I'm executing it, what it will do, it will only extract the year. Yes, it will extract the month, and it will extract the day. So let's suppose if you want to write a query where you want to check which of the payments are being done for month 4, and you have only date. So using this function, what you will do, first you will extract the month, and once you will extract that particular month, you will check that which of the payments are being done in April and May. Correct. So this is one technique. This is the date functions, and here we have is date and format. Basically, here this format is used to change the format. Here we have YYMMDD. You can change it to YYMMDD now, or else you can change it to DDMMYYY. So there are different formats. You have to check the format. Okay, understood, Monica? So this is something which is related to, there is a there is a another there is a another there is a another function that is called difference. Okay, date difference is basically, it is used to find the difference between two different dates. Okay, let's suppose 2020 2017 025 2011, there is a difference of 4 years. Okay, if I execute it, here I have getting the difference based on month. Okay, if I want to get the difference based on day, I will write just day, and if I execute it, it will give the difference in days. If we want the difference in years, instead of day, what you do, you write year, and it will give the difference as year minus 6. Okay, so this is a function between date functions. We learned about string functions, date function, aggregate function. Now the other functions we have is about mathematical functions that you have to learn. Okay, now Monica, can you do one thing? Can you start sending me the topics? Okay, let's come on camera. I'm just stop sharing. I'm little lagging now. Okay, so I want you to send me that PDF which I asked you to create last week related to those questions. Okay, no problem. But at least to send me, create a PDF, take a photo, create a PDF, and send it to me. I want those to be noted on your notes. Okay, just do that. Please cover this particular. Tomorrow we will see about that table valued and scalar value function. That is very important, and that will help you to learn about what how we are creating actual functions, user defined functions. That is very important. We will thoroughly talk about these two topics tomorrow, and we have to look on to that also. Please send me that particular notes which you have created. I really want to check your progress, what you are doing, what you are not, and also send me the screenshot of hacker rank. What is your rank today, and then in next week you have to send me the screenshot of that particular hacker rank next week, that how much questions you solve. Okay, so can you please send it to me right now? I will send you this query. Sorry, I'm asking you about those notes. Can you share the notes and the hacker rank screenshot? Just you have a Word document. Just send it to me. That is also. I will try to load this particular onto your Google Drive. Google Drive, you send me that Google Drive, but you didn't send me the password and all. Because it is already logged in now. You have a SSO on, single sign on in your computer. That's why I didn't ask. Okay, I will try to do it. If